Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank you all for joining us today for our business marketing with Canva workshop. My name is Valerie Harper, and I am with the Martinsville Henry County Economic Development Office here in town. Some of my co-workers from our tourism team and our internship program are also on the call. I think Beth, Kelly, and Beth Bennett, Kelly Rowland, and Beth Marshall are also on our call. So thank them for being here. I guess first of all, our office is located in the College Institute building in Uptown Martinsville on the third floor. We are available to help with all of your business needs and tourism related. I won't try to squeeze in all of our services, but you can find a lot of information on our website, yesmartinsville.com, visitmartinsville.com, or martinsville.com. You can also follow us on our social media to get updates on the services and events happening right here in good old Martinsville County. So from time to time, we offer workshops like this one. Usually they're free. The topics vary. So just to be sure that you're up to date, just make sure to check in from time to time or check our website to see what is coming up. How do we determine what those topics are? Sometimes they're general topics. They can benefit a large group of businesses or organizations. Sometimes it's suggestions from our clients. And then sometimes it's just out of our own need, things that we haven't been able to completely figure out. And today it is definitely one of those days. If any of you are like me, creativity is not my strong point, nor is graphic design. For me, quick, easy, and design have never belonged in the same sentence. So thank goodness Canva came along. I can tinker around in Canva, but I am anxious to see what today's guest speaker, LaShonda Brown, is going to show us. Just a couple of housekeeping things. For the most part, we'll keep everyone on mute unless our speaker calls on you. As we go along, if you have questions, please put those in the chat. And we will take occasional pauses to address those. And we'll see how time goes if we have time for some extended Q&A at the end of the session. I'll also be putting an evaluation link in the chat, and I'll probably email it afterwards also. Also, obviously, we're recording the session. I'll email that link to you afterward in case you miss anything. All right, so I'll let LaShonda introduce herself, but I do want to emphasize how fortunate we are to have her as a speaker, because as of a couple of weeks ago, LaShonda became a certified Canva expert. She's an expert at this, and Canva says so. There are only 20 of these in the entire world, only 20 people that hold this position. So it is a huge honor. So I want to say congratulations to LaShonda. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to her as the expert.
Hello, everybody. I am so excited to share with you all today. One of the things that I have to always caution myself on is I get so excited about Canva that sometimes I move really fast. So I'm going to be checking in with you all throughout this presentation just to make sure that you're following along and not getting overwhelmed. So before I start sharing the screen, Valerie, did you want to spotlight my video or did you want to leave it like it is? All right, perfect. So first things first, I had to create the presentation for this workshop in Canva, because one of the things that I think is so applicable to nonprofits or small businesses is the ability to make a slide deck or a presentation in Canva itself. And so I'm going to be showing you some of the options that are available as we walk through this, just to show you what is possible within Canva. One of the biggest updates that just came out recently that I think is a huge help to a lot of business folks is now you're able to not only create your slide deck, so essentially it is another option from PowerPoint, but you're able to record yourself talking through your slide deck directly in Canva. And so what I mean by that is there are programs like Loom. Loom is a very popular option for this, where you would do a screen recording and record yourself talking through your slide deck if you wanted to send that presentation along to someone else. Within the creator entrepreneur community, we tend to do this a lot for virtual conferences and virtual summits, where we would create essentially a module or a segment and send it to be a part of a larger event. And so you're seeing a lot of this happen because of the pandemic, because people aren't meeting in person. And so if you find yourself needing to pitch yourself to a bank for a loan or pitch yourself to a sponsor for an event, you can actually utilize Canva to not only create the slide deck, but also record yourself presenting it. And so that's just one little feature that they've added to the back end of Canva that is going to start eliminating the need for some of these other third-party sites. So they continue to add more and more features to make Canva a one-stop shop. And so part of what I'm going to be showing you is how many ways you can actually save money by using a Canva Pro account. So hopefully you guys have had the opportunity to go ahead and set one of those up so that you're able to also look at your own account maybe while I'm demonstrating some things. But if not, that link is provided to you and you can do it at your own time. So the first thing I'm going to do is just show you guys, if I click on present in the top right-hand corner and just say a standard present, then it becomes a full screen presentation. So you can actually walk through your slide deck while you're still in Canva itself. So you don't have to even download it in order to present your presentation. So I want to give you a little bit more background into who I am. My name is LaShonda Brown. I am located in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. So I am in Forest, Virginia, right outside of Lynchburg. So we're not too far away. My husband and I also own a video production company, and we do a lot of work in the Patrick County area and everything. So very familiar. Got married in South Boston, Virginia. I grew up in Virginia. So just really excited to be able to share this information with like some local folks. That's really awesome. Usually people are in completely different time zones. So it's kind of nice to at least be in Eastern. But I am a Canva expert now. We used to be called Canva Certified Creatives, and this is a brand new program that they rolled out a couple weeks ago. I have a YouTube channel called Bootstrap Biz Advice, where I teach people how to grow a biz without breaking the bank. So for me, Canva is perfectly aligned with my mission as an online educator, because I'm constantly looking for ways for people to leverage technology to grow their business without generating debt. And so ultimately, if they can leverage technology to accomplish some of those things on their own, my end goal would be to help them generate passive income as well. And so, you know, growing up in Virginia, I didn't see a lot of entrepreneurs making money online. And so it's my passion to be that mentor that I always wanted. So this is like perfect dream job. Absolutely love it. Lights me on fire. So I'm just genuinely excited to be able to share with you all today. So again, from time to time, I'm going to be checking in with you all because I want to make sure that not only you're made aware of some stuff about Canva that you didn't know before, but you're actually equipped to go start creating in maybe a way you didn't feel comfortable with doing before. So that's really the goal. So what I do is I have a community called the Bootstrap Club. because of Bootstrap Biz Advice. And so ultimately, because I'm always looking for ways to save people money, one of the things that I created was a PDF guide that contains all the different coupons for tech tools that I know about, different websites, different courses, different educational resources. And so I actually created that in Canva as a way to serve my community and grow my email list. So it's another example of what you can do in Canva. I also have provided some of my Canva templates within the Bootstrap Club, which is just a page on my website. And so that way, when you are looking at things that I'm doing, whether it's on Instagram or LinkedIn or on Facebook, you can actually edit some of the designs that I created for myself. So I'll have more information about that at the end, but just know that I'm very generous with my designs, because that allows you to customize them to fit your needs. So obviously Canva has tons of templates to choose from, but Canva creators also share their templates with their followers online. So that's a fairly common practice. So a big question that I get from people, and we've got to start here, is the pricing. First and foremost, I hate to say this, but there is a lot of scamming taking place, especially within Etsy, where there are people offering to sell an unlimited lifetime membership to Canva. That is not a thing. If you ever come across that in your journeys online, just know that that is not a legitimate offer from Canva. Do not give them your credit card information. That is not a thing. So these are the different levels that are available with Canva outside of the enterprise section, which we're not even trying to deal with right now. So essentially Canva can be free to anyone who wants to use it. You can sign up with Facebook account with an email address and a password, and you can get access to Canva. But the biggest thing I want you to take note of is this little crown right here. If you have a free account, there will be features that you will have to pay to use. You'll be able to see them, but you won't be able to use them unless you pay or upgrade to Canva Pro. So they will show you what you have access to as a free user. They're giving you access to 250,000 plus templates. You can access tons of free photos. You can invite people to your team with a free account and collaborate. You don't have a ton of storage, but again, you can do a decent amount in Canva utilizing a free account. But this is what I strongly encourage people to do. And I'll show you, especially with nonprofits. Canva Pro is definitely worth the investment, because when you look at that number, that $120 a year, that's actually for up to 5 people. And so what that means is if you have 5 people on your Canva team, you're only paying $2 per person per month for them to use it. It's extremely affordable for what you get access to. They have added more photos, more video, audio clips, all sorts of things that previously, especially, when I was heavily involved in the nonprofit community and you needed really specific stock photos for various things, you had to go on like Shutterstock or iStock or things like that. If you are a Canva Pro user, you have access to all of that. So you can get all of your stock images in one spot. You can get all your audio clips in one spot. It's really going to help you consolidate things. So you may actually be able to even get rid of some subscriptions you have because of what you can do inside of Canva. Another thing that is huge is that background remover tool. Previously, that was something that you would have to use Photoshop for. You would have to use a more robust design tool to remove the background from photos. You can do that directly in Canva. Another feature is Magic Resize. That's a game changer. Magic Resize allows you to make one graphic for social media and magically resize it for a bunch of stuff. My favorite use of it is, I could make a flyer for an event, and I can take the flyer from an 8.5 by 11 to an Instagram post, to a Facebook post, to a Facebook event cover, to an email banner in a matter of seconds. So you're saving a ton of time. Another thing that a lot of people don't realize has been added to Canva Pro is the ability to schedule your social media posts directly in Canva. So if you are making Facebook posts, if you're making Instagram posts and you are paying for Buffer or Hootsuite or things like that to schedule your content so you didn't have to post it in the moment, that's built into Canva now. So again, some of these features will allow you the ability to get rid of maybe some other programs that you're paying for. So it's just really important to let people know all the different things that are available, because there's even more savings that could be available for you. The last thing I want to make sure you know is nonprofits can get a free account, a free Canva Pro account if they apply. The application process is not hard. You just have to have identify your tax identification number so they know you are a verified nonprofit. And they actually provide you a team, not up to 5 people, but up to 10 people, including you, for free. So for the nonprofit community, it is a no-brainer. That's $120 you don't even need to spend at that point. So if you are a registered nonprofit and you do not have Canva Pro set up for your organization, the link to do that is just canva.com/Canva for nonprofits. You can also just Google Canva nonprofits and it'll take you directly there. This stock photo and this image is a Canva photo. So all the images that I include in this presentation were taken directly from Canva's library. So I didn't need to leave Canva in order to put pictures into this presentation. And so again, that's a huge time saver. So sharing and collaborating, and I think this is so critical when you are a part of an organization with a lot of moving parts. If you're a business owner and you've got a family member running your social media, or you've hired someone to do your marketing, you want the ability to be able to collaborate on designs, to be able to make edits and make comments and notes. You can do that whether you have a free account or a pro account. The biggest difference, again, is you're going to have limited features if you don't have a pro account. And some of those productivity tools, like the social media scheduling, the magic resize, background remover, you're not going to have access to those features if you don't have pro. So essentially, again, you just need someone to be the pro user to create the team. And from there, all you need is the name and email address for the people you want to add to your team. And you just simply add them, and then they have access to the Canva Pro features. Even if someone is not a Canva Pro user, if you yourself send a Canva Pro design, they can still edit it in a free account. So that's a common question that people ask as well. And so that's kind of how the sharing and collaboration works. I can also screen share and get into the weeds. So as I'm going through some of these features, if you want me to dig in even deeper and show you where some of the things are located, then I can definitely do that. So just keep that in mind. Organizing your account. This, I will tell you, I'll be honest, my account is trashed. I've probably created over 1,000 Canva designs at this point. Lots of them are demo files and things like that. So mine's a bit of a mess. I need to organize it. But a new thing that they rolled out is the ability to organize your content with folders. And so that's huge for people who don't want to have their things scattered all over the place. You can upload your logos, your fonts, and your brand colors directly to Canva. So if you've been given your colors from your graphic designer and you want to make sure that your colors stay consistent no matter what you're designing, you can just load them into Canva one time and then select them when you're ready to design something. And so that's called your brand kit. And one thing that I have noticed personally that I wanted to add to this presentation is you definitely want to upload your logos, but I want to go into detail about how to have the most success when you're actually setting up your Canva account. So when it comes to your logos, you really want to have multiple variations. I see this all the time where someone has a very colorful logo and then they put it on a dark background and it's really hard to read. So it's helpful to have like a color version and a white version and sometimes an all black version. So you can upload all those logos. If you have specific fonts that you've purchased or fonts that you use for your organization, you can identify them in Canva one time. So every time you create, all you have to do is select heading or subheading and your stuff matches. So you don't have to constantly think about that. Again, you can add your colors under the brand kit. And the biggest note I can give you is also upload images that you use a lot in your organization. What I have noticed in this transition going from being a certified creative to now being a Canva expert is I am constantly going like, oh my gosh, where's my headshot? Where is the new badge? You know, this badge right over here. Where's the background that they want us to use? Different things like that in your organization would be helpful to place in a folder within your Canva account, so you're not re-uploading the same files over and over and over again. So if in your organization, if you find yourself making newsletters a lot and you use the headshot of the CEO of your organization, upload that headshot to Canva. Or if you have an exterior shot of your building that you tend to put on a lot of things, upload that. So I think a lot of people think of the branding, they think of the logo and the fonts and the colors. But when it comes to the images don't get a lot of love. And then I find people tend to scramble at the last minute, trying to find the images that they need in order to make the designs that they have. And so that's what I wanted to add to the setup checklist is as you are creating your Canva account, go ahead and upload some of those images that you use fairly often. So I want to take a very quick break and make sure that all of that made sense. So we're going to go right back really quick. And so in terms of the pricing, if you have any questions about Canva pricing, go ahead and drop that in the chat. If you have any questions about the features that are available to nonprofits for free, drop that in the chat. If you have questions about sharing or collaborating with designs, let me know in the chat. Organizing your account, if you want me to show you how to upload things into your brand kit, let me know. And if you have any questions about setting up your brand kit, again, let me know. If not, then we will go ahead and transition to some of the new features that have rolled out in 2022. We ourselves are trying to keep up with all of it. So I'm pretty sure some of that information is going to be new to you. So I'm going to go ahead and check out the chat here. Let's see. Can you talk more about, okay, so yes, the way that the pricing works for Canva Pro is if you pay annually, this is the annual amount. And I took this screenshot today to make sure that was accurate. So if you see here for 1 to 5 people, you pay $120 a year and you have access to Canva Pro for up to 5 people. So what it looks like is whatever account ends up putting the credit card information in, that account becomes Canva Pro. And then you have the ability to add on any additional users on your team that you would like to have access to those features. So if you bill it monthly, it just goes up slightly. I believe it's $12.99 a month. So you save a little bit of money if you bill yearly. And so that's how that works. So unless you put in their name and email address, they don't have access to the Canva Pro that you paid for. So you want to kind of have like an administrator essentially for your team. And if you decide, okay, I'm going to get Canva Pro for my department, you only need to pay for it for one account. And then you add the users to your team within your Canva account. Yes, I can do that. So I want to make sure that I don't show things that you guys already know how to locate. And so what I can do, let's see. Yes, you can share a project between regular and pro users. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, and we're going to go directly into my Canva account so I can show you a couple of these things in terms of the Canva Teams. All right. So say for instance, if I were looking at this actual presentation, this is the design side of Canva. And if you navigate around Canva, you're going to see a few things. So on the left-hand side, you'll see templates, elements, uploads, photo, text, style. So all of this affects how you design whatever your document is. So in this case, we're designing a presentation. So when you are ready to start sending out this documentation or this design to other people, there's no longer a download button. The download button has been replaced by a share button. And so this is where you can see all of your different options, which have expanded way beyond where it used to be, where you can add people from your team. You can restrict access where people can only view the document versus being able to edit it. And so you can make those changes here. And once you've made the changes, then you can copy it. It's very similar to sharing a document within the Google Workspace or G Suite. If you're familiar with like sharing a Google Doc, deciding on the access that you want. You can send it as view only, where again, people don't have access to make any comments. Or if you want to turn your design into a template, you would use the template link. And so essentially, if you make a design, say for instance, if you come up with a custom flyer template for your organization and you want to grant access to that on your team. So whenever your team is hosting an event, they have a basic format. And when they make changes to it, it doesn't impact the original. That's when you would use the template link. So for every design in Canva, you have all of these features to share your document. And you sharing it or asking people to collaborate it is not impacted by that person's status within Canva. So a free user can look at a file that you shared in Canva. A Canva Pro user can look at it the same way. And so again, you want to access that once you've completed your design by clicking on the share button in the top right-hand corner. If you click on more, you can see even more options. And this is where it gets even more convoluted of ways that you can share it outside of that. You can upload it directly to Dropbox or to Google Drive, or you can download it. You can email it out, send it through Slack. So there are tons of different options. And so this is a big thing that they changed, because before it would simply say download. And now the ability to share and collaborate and download is all within the share tab. Let's see, just to verify, the nonprofit subscription gives us the same features as a pro account. Yes, so you are getting a Canva Pro account, but you have access to up to 10 people versus 1 to 5 people. So it's an added benefit for the nonprofit community. You just have to go through that link, the Canva nonprofit link, to verify your status as a nonprofit. So in terms of, let's see, the sharing update edits real time on both accounts, or does it need to be sent back and forth? Your edits are going to be real time. Again, a very good comparison is what it looks like within a Google Doc. So if you open up a file that's been shared and someone else has it open at the same time, like you'll even see a little marker where you can see that someone else is looking at the document at the same time. And when I make changes on my end, then it will reflect on whoever I share it with. Have all the updates been added to the phone app? So some of the Canva Pro features are only available on the desktop version of Canva. what happens within the app is optimized for like social media content. The app can actually, and I'll share that with you guys further in the presentation, the mobile app can actually do some things that the desktop app can't. But if you really want to put them in two different camps, when you look at the mobile app, your goal is to create content on the go. If you're creating something extensive with multiple pages, with images and graphics, you really want to be on a desktop when you're creating that content. Even an iPad would be better than utilizing a mobile device like an Android or an iPhone, if that makes sense. Do you guys have any more questions about the sharing and collaboration? I want to make sure that makes sense before we keep going. Make sure I got everything here. I believe I got everyone's questions about that. So I'm going to actually hop into some of the latest updates that came within the last 3 months, starting in January, some like the highlights. I'm not going to overwhelm you with some of the feature updates, but I think the ones that I did highlight in the presentation are going to impact how you create content. It's going to make your life actually easier. So we're going to go ahead back to the presentation, and I'm going to hop to that section. And again, if you have some more questions that weren't covered, go ahead and drop them in the chat, and I will make sure that we address them all before we continue. Okay. So the number one thing that I think Canva changed in 2022 that's going to help, especially a lot of educators, is you now have the ability to create tables directly in Canva. I don't know if you guys had attempted to do that before, especially in the nonprofit world when you're trying to communicate a lot of data. Before, it was very difficult to display data well within Canva. And now there is an entire category, and it's under the Elements tab, which I'll show you, where you can create a table without leaving Canva at all. You can actually also connect it to like Google Spreadsheets. So that's a really helpful feature if you need to display information to talk about grant outcomes or to show attendance at an event or different things like that. Tables are going to be very helpful to you. New design imports. That's another one I'm really excited about. If you didn't know this, you used to be able to only upload a PDF into Canva and be able to edit it. So if you had old design files from a previous graphic designer or someone who held your position previously and you couldn't edit them because you didn't have the Adobe Suite or the ability to do that, you can actually import a PDF into Canva and make edits to it. Now you can import Microsoft Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, PowerPoints. So if you have files that need to be updated and you feel more comfortable in Canva, especially when it comes to documents, you can actually upload them directly into Canva now, which is very helpful. Quick Create, which I'll show you a screenshot of, is on the mobile app for Canva. And it allows you to create designs on the go. You just type in your text and it actually selects templates for you to help you to design your graphics. Magic Shortcut is another one that's come up where you can hit a single button on your keyboard to search through the different elements on Canva. You can add backgrounds to your text. You can do curtain calls and mic drops within your presentations. You can fade audio and do all these things. Now, I'm going to go into the back end of Canva and kind of show you where some of these things are located. But at the end of the day, what is happening on a monthly basis at Canva is they are adding new features almost every other day at this point. And so what I would encourage you all to do, number one, is to make sure that you download Canva's mobile app, because features like Quick Create exist on the mobile app. And you also want to follow people who are Canva creators or Canva expert is a good term to look for on platforms like Instagram or YouTube, because we're constantly creating tutorials and graphics to explain how these things work. I will tell you, we get all of the feature updates, and even we are struggling to keep up with all the new news. And so following accounts like that make it extremely helpful for you to stay on top of things that are changing so you can get the most out of Canva. So definitely make sure that you download the mobile app, and then you can actually just search Canva expert, especially in Instagram, and it will scan Instagram and pull up any accounts that have been tagged with that phrase. So this is where I actually wanted to go directly in Canva and do some designing, because I think when you're able to see people walk through the process, it can fill in a lot of the gaps. When it comes to any of the new features, I'm actually going to cover those as I design a square graphic. So what I want you guys to do at this point in the chat, because I really wanted to spend the bulk of my time letting you watch me move through Canva and pointing things out that maybe you didn't know were there. Is there anything specific that you have found in your daily life that you've been struggling with, whether it's been Instagram content or a flyer? I put slide decks, and I want to show you some of the printing options that are available. But if there's something specific that you've been running up against in your daily life, I want to make sure that I highlight that. I'm going to start with the square graphic, show you some features, but then let me know for sure in the chat if you have something specific that you'd like for me to cover. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing the presentation and then open up a square graphic. And I use the square graphic because most social media platforms will contain a square graphic without your content being cut off. And so if you didn't want to resize it for like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever, that square graphic would work across the board. So again, if you have something specific that you've been running up against, a problem that you've been having, I'd love to tackle that while we're here. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the dashboard of Canva. And so there are a few ways that you can navigate the templates within Canva. And I would tell you every now and again, make sure that you click around because these are constantly changing. You can look at templates at the top, and they are organized by category here. So you have like social media, personal, business, marketing, education, and things that are trending. You can look at the buttons here where they're kind of prompting you with the For You templates and then showing you some popular templates there. Or you can actually just type in what you're trying to do within the search bar. And so we're just going to do an Instagram post, which is a perfect square. So if I just do a generic Instagram post, and let's see, something that is coming up, we'll just say spring. You can type in the search bar what you're looking for in terms of templates. So you don't have to just scroll, you can actually be very specific and type it in. So if you were looking to do, maybe you're creating an advertisement for spring break or something like that, then you could type in spring into the search bar, and it's going to curate all of the different templates that are available within Canva that have been tagged as a spring template. So one place that people overlook a lot is this little slider here. So you can actually search the templates by color if you want to. Language isn't as big of a deal in the US, but if you had, let's say, for instance, green in your color palette for your organization, and you didn't want to have to drag through all the different templates, you could click on a color and it would actually sort the templates by color. That's a huge, huge time saver within Canva. So say for instance, this looks cool here. We have a botanical market, and it's got some text here. It's got some icons, and it's got an image in the back. So anything that you don't want, you can always click on it and delete it. But let's say, for instance, you want to change the color of this text. So you would click on the actual text itself and click on text color. And if you had uploaded your brand kit to Canva, this is where your colors would appear. And this is super helpful when you are working with a team and you want to make sure that things stay on brand. Say for instance, with rotary, these are the rotary blue and the rotary yellow. They're very specific colors. So if I was making a graphic for a fundraiser, a botanical market fundraiser, I would want to take this template and apply the rotary branding to it. Now, if you, let's see here, if you click on underneath text, if you click on styles, this is a fun time saver as well. So like I said, if this was a fundraising event and I wanted to rebrand this for Rotary, I could just click here and shuffle the colors, and it would immediately apply the color palette to the design. Here's another palette that I have, and you can see how it's automatically switching within the brand kit to make the design fit my brand colors. And so this is why it's so important when you set up your Canva account to take the time to upload those colors, because now, you can quickly edit this design and get it out and start using it without having to search for those color codes because they're already loaded into Canva. So Canva styles is another time-saving tool within the back end of Canva. So if you didn't like the image, you could click on the background and simply delete it. And if you see here under uploads, you have photos. And so again, this is where you can actually search within all the images of Canva without having to leave Canva itself. So if I wanted to change it to, this disco ball situation, I could, without having to leave it all. And then I could position it backwards to replace what was there before. So loading in different brand kits is an ability that you have if you have a Canva Pro account. You can upload multiple brand kits to Canva. So if I go back to home, on the left-hand side, you'll see brand kit and you'll see that little crown, which notates that this is a pro feature. So if I click on brand kit, now you can see all the different brand logos that I've uploaded, and then all the different palettes that are available. If you ever want to get rid of them, you can easily delete a palette. You can reorder them if, certain color palettes were more of a priority at a certain time. And so this is where you would set it up. Within your dashboard, under tools, you would click on brand kit. And so once you make those choices, choosing your text styles, choosing your brand colors, and uploading your logos, then you have easy access to it once you're designing. So you can upload multiple different brand kits within a Canva Pro account. And so that's really helpful, especially for people who are maybe like social media managers and they have multiple clients who have multiple different color palettes. So if we go back to the design, and thank you guys so much for continuing to ask questions while I'm designing. I have no problem, stopping and answering those questions. So another thing that you can do within Canva, if we're clicking around here, is if you wanted to, you can add audio. So you can see here under styles is audio. So you could add in, some happy music, some pop music, some epic music. And so that's a really cool way that you can create like a little commercial, if you will, within your design. So it doesn't have to be just a static design. Speaking of which, if I wanted to get rid of that photo again, I could click on it and delete it. And I could replace it with a video. Video is another option that we have down here. So if I wanted to have, let's see, a forest, I could type in forest and I could actually add a video to my design, just like you would a photo. And now you've got a little moving design that when you click play, you can see the background move. And so that's another thing that you can do within Canva. So again, all of this stuff is located on the side. So a lot of people kind of stop at templates, but as you continue down here, you're going to see that you have all sorts of ways to enhance your designs, whether it is a photo, a text, styles to apply your brand kit colors, adding audio or video. Yes. Okay. So Canva's video features, great question. So the two uses that I see that are really common with Canva video are like social media ads, like say for an event, if you were doing like I don't know, like a 4th of July fireworks show at the local baseball team. You could do fireworks on a background, firework video to add that to a design. And that could be really cool. Another thing I've seen people do is use it within a presentation, kind of as an icebreaker to keep people engaged. That's a more comical use of it. There are funny videos in here that you can add little silly things to keep your audience engaged as you're walking through a presentation. But essentially what happens is if you have a Canva Pro account, you have access to all of the video content within Canva. When you download your design, you are also downloading a license to the content that you're using, whether it's a video clip or an audio clip. If you want to utilize Canva to post something to YouTube, then you just want to make sure that your YouTube account is connected to your Canva account so that you don't get like a copyright strike. What they do is Canva and YouTube communicate with each other to say, hey, we own the license to this content and they are a member of our platform, and then you're good to go. So that's the only like slight complication. But yeah, you can use it on Facebook, you can use it on presentations, you can use it on Instagram, you have complete access to it. That's what makes Canva Pro so great, is once you pay that either monthly subscription or the annual subscription, you have free access to what is available within Canva. So again, you'll see in the corner, it's notated Pro, that if you were using a free account, you would have to pay for the license to this clip once you download it. But because I'm a Pro user, I'm able to drop in whatever I'd like. You can upload your own music. I think a more common use of uploading your own audio is if you were, say, for instance, recording a voiceover. If you were creating a commercial for something, then you can upload your own audio. When you go to upload, you can upload media, and you see here, you can upload images, video, and audio. So all of that is something you have access to within Canva. So if you do record something within another program, if you've gotten, I don't know, a clip from a radio show or a podcast that you've been in, or it's a clip from a speech or something that you want to add to your presentation, you can upload media, not just images, to Canva to go into your designs. That makes sense. Make sure let's see. Okay, cool. All right, so keep the questions coming because I'm happy to answer. So we walked through, you can add photos to your design without leaving Canva. You can utilize styles to change the brand colors. You can add audio clips. You can add video. Now, here is another thing you can do. We kind of stayed on the left-hand side, and I showed you some of those things you have access to, but you also have the ability to animate the design. So outside of just that video in the background, if you wanted to animate your text, you can click on your text and then click on the word animate. And this is where you have all these cool options. You can have it bounce in, you can have it burst, you can have it pop. And so I'm going to show you some of the things that I've created utilizing some of the animations within Canva. But if you do not have any, video editing skills, you can do basic animations within Canva. And so all you need to do is click on the text if you're trying to animate just the text, or click on the page to animate the entire page. And so this is more similar to what you would do within PowerPoint if you're used to having, transitions between your slides in PowerPoint. So that's just kind of showing you what you have the ability to do. So again, animate is at the top. And so that's going to give you the ability to either isolate different elements here or animate the entire thing. And so that would be pages versus the text itself. So the last thing that I want to make sure that I show you just within a social media graphic before we take some more questions is the magic resize tool. And so this is what I was referring to before. So if you wanted to take this design and transition it to being a Facebook post or a presentation or a poster, all you have to do is click on Resize, select what you want to change the design to, and then decide if you want to make an entirely new copy of it or if you want to resize the design. So if I wanted to take my social media post and if I wanted to turn the square into a vertical Instagram story, I could click the box here and resize it. And when I do that, it automatically resizes it for an Instagram story. And so this is something fairly common that I would do on Instagram is I could, resize something. And then when I uploaded it to Instagram stories, then the background would play and you'd have the information there. And so I find this is a really great way to market events or market offerings in your business that are time-based, because Instagram stories will expire after 24 hours. So if you're running a promotion, you're trying to boost ticket sales, trying to just get more attendees at things, this is a great way to market without having to pay for advertising. You can kind of make an ad within Canva and place it in your Instagram stories. And so what's cool about Canva is once you kind of get the lay of the land for the design platform, it's the exact same no matter what you're designing. So if we go back to home and we click on more, it would be the same layout if you were creating a desktop wallpaper or a book cover or a Zoom background. And so that's what's really great about Canva is once you know where things are located, then you apply the same process to any type of design. The last thing I want to make sure you know is Canva can print your designs for you. And it's not just print your business cards or print your flyers. They've actually expanded to the point where they can print things like a wall calendar or stickers. Stickers is actually like a really useful thing that they just picked up recently. Sweatshirts, like you can actually, I've actually created the t-shirt that I'm wearing was actually printed by Canva. So you can do t-shirts, you can do hoodies. And so that's, again, one more way that you can simplify the process that it takes for you to get some of your designs printed and created. Brochures, that's a great, easy way to get your brochures printed. Retractable banners, things like that. So if you have a local option for some of these things, you can save your design files within Canva and take it to a local printer. But if you find yourself in a pinch where you need something specific and you don't have a lot of time on your hands, you can actually utilize Canva, and they don't charge you for delivery, and you can have it printed directly through them. So again, they've got categories like gifts and stationery and cards and clothing, and they're continuing to expand those. But these are just a few of the options that they have available. Let's see, can you upload that video directly to your Instagram/Facebook story from Canva? Yes, if you want it. So if you wanted to schedule content within Canva, that is your content planner here. And so this is where you would actually schedule out your posts. And so you would decide, say you had a recent design here. And so then you would select the channel, select the caption, and this is where you would schedule it. So I'll be honest with you, what I tend to do the most often is if I create graphics for social media in Canva, I utilize the Dropbox app on my phone more often, or I'll even just email it to myself as an attachment. That's quicker for me if I'm doing things on the go. But if I have created a ton of content and I'm ready to schedule it, then utilizing something like this is helpful. But again, if you don't have like that time in your mind where you're like, okay, this is definitely going to get posted on this date at this time, then you can just utilize something like Google Drive, Dropbox, emailing it to yourself as an attachment, and then uploading it directly on your phone. Let's see. Can you crop a background? In other words, if you don't want to stretch a graphic? Yes, I can go back to what we were creating before. Or actually, this is a really good one. So this is the social media post that I'll be posting later today. And this is a photo that I utilized from Canva as my background. So when you double click on that image, it's actually a fairly long image that I have moved around. So if you find yourself not wanting to squish a background or stretch it to fit, you have some cropping options and you have some aligning options to slide things around. And so that's no problem at all to do in Canva. See here, make sure.
LaShonda,
Yes.
I apologize. I was the one who asked that about the cropping. So it'd be easier for me to just say it versus typing.
Oh yeah, no problem.
So that using that same one that you have on the screen, if you take it back down to its original size, because maybe you want it to see whatever is it's on that computer or whatever. So if you took it back down to its original size, can you do that?
Yeah. So if I'm going to just duplicate this page and make it blank so we can play around with it. So if I were to just add the photo directly from Canva, I just said, see here.
Like more of a vertical or oblong photo.
Okay. So something like this.
Right. So
where it's a vertical image.
Just say if you wanted to go stretch it all the way, well, you can just leave it right there. Can I crop the background down to that size instead instead of stretching it, could I crop?
So you're saying, can you make your design the size of this image versus the size of this whole thing?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Now, well, can you stretch that and get it as much? Okay, so you see the, nope, down. So maybe I want all of that, everything. But I have that white on, I have that white on the side. Can that be cropped to just the picture?
Yes. So you could resize it from here. Does that make sense?
Yes, but how do you know how much to cut off?
So do you see how you have the rulers here?
Oh, okay. Right.
So usually, so I mean, there's lots of different ways that you can go about, you know, if you get like a weird size photo that you have to include somehow. What I would do is stretch it and then move it to where, you know, where it fits well. But if you absolutely have to leave it where you have some white showing, then you can change the size of the actual template when you export it. So there's no like white there.
Okay. I usually take it out and then crop it. I'm sorry. I'll mute myself back.
No, you're fine. You're fine. No, honestly, so there is a tool, and I know exactly what you're talking about. There's a tool, like just a free download tool that I use called Photoscape for just like random, if I need to crop something in a weird shape, if that makes sense. So kind of some of those fine tuning things are still being developed within Canva. So I know exactly what you mean.
Sometimes your logo is at the very top or the very bottom, so you can't stretch it because it won't show. So yes, you understand. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Let's see here. Does Canva allow for any specific graphic manipulation through anchor points? Yeah. So in terms of like fine tuning things within Canva, they have expanded some things through edit imaging, but there aren't really too many things that you can do to manipulate the graphics in terms of like isolating things. Some of the features within Canva, like being able to export an image as a vector file, that's a fairly new development. You can see down here, even being able to edit the images you upload, that's still fairly new. So when it comes to like the fine tuning of graphics, that's definitely something that they're working on. A big update was them doing the background remover, and probably the second update was them adding the ability to do these smart mockups. So that's something I can definitely add to our wish list of features. But as of right now, I don't think we have that ability within Canva. But like I said, I mean, truly, it's like every other day there are new features that are added. So yeah, you just never know. You never know. It's happening very quickly. Canva has actually doubled in size within a year. So they are doing their best to keep up. Things are happening fast and furious for sure. No problem. No problem. So what I want to do is just hop back over to our presentation really quick to make sure that there wasn't anything else in terms of just action items that I wanted to share with you guys. And then I'm happy to design anything that you'd like to watch me do. Let's see here. Yeah, we tackled everything. That's awesome. Okay. So the only thing left that I had in the actual slide deck that I wanted to make sure you guys had access to was just making sure that you have my information to stay connected. I won't even like make this full screen. But again, we communicate with the development team, we communicate with the marketing team. And so if there are features that would make your life easier within Canva, if you can reach out to us, whether it's for me, I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube a lot. And so those are easy ways to get a hold of me. But if you come up against things that would be helpful for us to pass along, like the anchor point comment, those things are really great because it's been awesome to see how quickly they've been able to add new features to help accommodate some of the needs that people have had in the organizations. So this is my contact information. I have Canva tutorials on my YouTube channel, and everybody creates their tutorials differently. But what my niche is really isolating specific tasks and showing you step by step how to do that one thing. So instead of doing more like an overview, like we did on this call, I go specifically into either certain features like the tables feature. I take you step by step and show you how to build a table or how to create an Instagram reel in Canva, different things like that. So if you want to have kind of isolated tutorials that help you for specific tasks, that's something that I do on my YouTube channel, and my YouTube channel is that bootstrapbizadvice.com. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew that. So if you want to have more education on Canva moving forward, I'm constantly adding new stuff there. And I really utilize Instagram for things like this post here to kind of keep you up to date with new changes and new features and things like that. So that is that there. And I want to make sure that we have time to address comments. And if you want to see any of my designs, I'm happy to show you some finished designs as well. So again, I want to utilize the rest of our time today to really curate it to what you need. That was what I had prepared that I wanted to make sure you knew. And so I'll go ahead and stop sharing and hop over to the chat. Let's see. Where was the boomerang lettering on a Canva ad? Is that in regards to animating text? Is that what that question is for? Not sure what boomerang lettering means. Okay. So I will go back to our design. Screen share that with you. All right. So in order to animate your design, all you need to do is click on either the specific element that you want to animate, or click on the background if you want to apply it to the entire page. And then animate is located at the top. And that's where you have the options for the page or the options for the text. And so let's see, you have burst and bounce. Don't think there's one specifically called boomerang, but this is where all your different text options are available. The one that I use a lot is the typewriter, where it actually kind of spells out whatever you have typed. So that's one that I use fairly frequently in my designs. But again, you just click on the element that you want to animate, or you click on the page and click on animate at the top. So if I go back, I can show you guys a few things that I have done specifically with the animations. Let's see here. So this was like a fun little test where I chose some music on Instagram, and utilizing that typewriter function, I added a video to the background, added in some text. And so I was able to create like a little Instagram reel directly within Canva. So that's, again, combining video and text to create a little video. Some other things that I've done, here's like a little template I made for the Bootstrap Club to advertise a group of people going live on Instagram. So with these shapes, all I need to do is drag in a photo, and then it automatically resizes it. And then you just edit the text and save the image. So this is what I was referring to, and you can create your own templates and share it within your organization so that your branding matches no matter where things are shared. And so in order for me to share that with other people, again, I would click on share in the top right-hand corner and share it as a template. If I wanted them to be able to edit it, then I would copy the link here and they would have access to that. See some other examples. We have things, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, and while you're looking, LaShonda, I'm going to encourage everyone. Sometimes it's easier to literally ask your questions versus typing it out. So if you'll use your reaction button, raise a hand or whatever, we'll unmute once we see you. Sorry.
No problem at all. All right, so I'll go back to my screen here. Another example of something that you can do. So this is a presentation that I created within Canva. And if I wanted to record it, all I would need to do is to locate the button at the top, and then I would select it from here. So I'm not going to do it because we're on Zoom, but this is what would start the recording studio for you to add audio to it. And so that's an option that you have within your presentations. So I'm just trying to give you guys some ideas of what's possible. The last thing that I have found really interesting is if you find yourself in a position where you have something very specific that you need to create that you don't feel like Canva has a template for, you can actually find specialized templates on a website called Creative Market. And Creative Market is just a marketplace for creatives to share their designs. This is one that I refer people to a lot. It's specifically designed for ebooks. So if you had, if you needed to make a handbook, say for instance, and you had multiple content pages you needed to create with photos and text and all these different things, and to do this from scratch in Canva would cost you a lot of time, then you can utilize a website like Creative Market to actually buy specified templates for you to use in your organization. And so I've actually used this ebook creator template before to create content on the go. And so that's what's so cool about the Canva platform, is because it is open to so many people to create. Not only are they constantly adding new templates, but creators are also making their templates available on other sites like Etsy or like Creative Market. So yeah, if you need something specific and you're not finding it on Canva, that is another place where you can look. And so that's a question I get asked a lot on my YouTube channel is, you know, do you have any tips for how to find other templates? So that's something that you have access to should you need it in your organization. Do we have any other questions? See, I want to make sure, let's see. Did I miss anything in the chat, Valerie?
I don't think you did. I think we got everything.
Okay, awesome. Well, like I said, guys, I definitely would love to have any other questions that you have. You can reach out to me on social media about, features that you would like to see added. If you have any additional questions. But again, what I appreciate about Canva is once you get that lay of the land for one specific design, you can apply that to anything that you're trying to create on the platform. So again, my YouTube channel, I'll go ahead and share that with you to kind of show you some of the things that I teach on there. If you need some additional help, there are a couple playlists that I have available. One is specifically for Canva and Instagram, because there's just a lot of different things, whether it's designing stuff for your podcast or designing stuff for your Instagram account. But then also, like I was telling you before about, how to upload a PDF into Canva and edit it, or how to find more fonts, or how to add tables. And so this is kind of what I was referring to, that I have specific videos about really minute things so that you can go for exactly what you need. And then I can take you step by step. You're so welcome. So if you guys have, so this is just really helpful for me. If you have any comments about the presentation that you want to drop in the chat, I usually save the chat when I hop off of these Zoom calls. So I really appreciate you saying those kind words, Mary. I really appreciate you dropping that in there. And I really want to thank you, Valerie, for the opportunity to be able to share more. I know it's a lot, right? There's so many features and so much out there. But again, what's really helpful about the Canva experts is the majority of us actually create our own tutorials on platforms like Instagram and YouTube to show you guys how to leverage some of these new features. So between the 20 of us, we're doing our best to try to get out there and help educate you so you don't feel overwhelmed, but feel empowered to create. Awesome. Thank you so much.
And LaShonda, I was a little busy when you first got started. Did you say you have ties to our area? At the beginning, did you say you had ties to our area?
So I grew up in Dinwiddie, Virginia. I've been in Virginia my whole life, and we do a lot of work in Patrick County a lot. So in like Stewart, and we've been all around Metazadan and all the places. So we know the Martinsville area really well.
Okay. Awesome. Well, again, I want to remind everybody that the evaluation link is in the chat. No worries if you miss it. I'm probably going to email it to you anyway, along with the recording link. LaShonda, thank you for introducing so many nuggets about the features in Canva. It's a lot. It's good stuff, though. It's good stuff, and I'm sure that all of our participants today learned something that they'll be able to incorporate in their project. So we really appreciate you presenting today, and again, want to congratulate you on your new expert status.
Well, thank you.
And with that, unless there's any more questions in the chat, I guess we want to thank everyone for attending. I'll give you a moment to save the chat and everything, and just wish everyone to have a great evening, and look for that email to come through probably first thing in the morning.
Thank you. Everyone have a great rest of your day. It was so nice to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you again, LaShonda.
No problem. Bye-bye.
Bye.